What is this garbage? Did you shoot this on a GoPro or a phone? I'm not editing this. This is beneath me.
Welcome to our review of the 2020 MG ZS EV. Why on earth are we reviewing a car 2 years after it came out? Well, first of all, because you asked us to, and second of all, because we rented this while we were in England and it seemed like a good opportunity. So, what do I think of this car? Well, we're going to get to that as we work through this. Today we're going to do the walk around, and then next time we will have the drive review, so I'll tell you how it handles. Today we're just going to talk about the specs a little bit. First up, this is a 44 kilowatt hour equipped car. It has independent front suspension running on McPherson struts, and at the back it has twist/torsion bar suspension, which, yeah, you can feel that when you're driving. As you've probably guessed from looking at the front of the vehicle, this is a car based on a platform designed for a petrol or gasoline vehicle. This partially blanked off grille down here does speak to that fact, and behind this MG badge is hidden the charging port, which is awkward to access, to say the least. It has 50 kilowatt charging, which is a little bit lackluster at this point in time, but one of the most important things about this car is its price and affordability. So I can overlook that, although I would prefer more in the region of 80 to 100 kilowatts. Down at the front here, you do have a radar for the adaptive cruise control, along with, up at the top here, a small camera, as you'd expect. This car does also come equipped with automatic windscreen wipers, which is a feature that my Kia Niro doesn't even have. Astonishing given the price. Let's just take a quick look under the bonnet and see what's hiding under there. Is there, as you might hope, a frunk? Under the bonnet here there is plenty of room for a frunk. Unfortunately, there isn't one. This being an internal combustion engine body shell, there is so much space going to waste, which is a bit of a disappointment. But you can see that it's fairly well laid out, and, well, if you wanted to, maybe you could add a frunk in the same way that the early Kia Niros can. Being a rental car, this has probably had a bit of a hard life. It's probably been driven fairly, well, not gently, and I used to say that all rental cars are off-road vehicles, so perhaps it's had a bit more mistreatment than normal. That said, it is a little disappointing to see that some of the chrome here at the front under the hood is already peeling. It's not anywhere that you would notice it, and it does suggest maybe not a great longevity. But it should also be noted that this car does come with a 7-year warranty, or 80,000 miles, which is very good. Front and rear, the car runs on 215/50 17-inch tyres. They should be pretty cheap to buy, and you do get auto folding mirrors, which is very nice. Side profile of the car is really pretty unremarkable, but at the back you do get some nice haunches, which I know Nikki will be a fan of. Let's go round to the rear and see what's going on back there. The back of the car is pretty unremarkable. The rear lamp clusters are unfortunately incandescent throughout, which is a little bit of a disappointment. You do, however, get a rear wiper, and that does make me very happy. Living in the Pacific Northwest, or as this car does in England, rain is a feature, and having some means of removing it is always handy. The badge here opens the boot. There's no little dance or jig to do it because it's just on plain old gas lifts. The parcel shelf on this rental version has already broken at 20,000 miles. It's lost one of its little plugs up here, and this string is too short because it appears to have broken. But you do get a nice boot floor with lots of room, and this panel does lift and reveal a charger, and down below that, a spare tyre kit. The shelf also pulls out and drops down to make a little bit more space, although then you do have a big lip to get your packages in over. Let's take a look inside. Inside the cabin, you do feel that things are a little bit cheaper. The plastics, for example, not so much soft touch, and the padding on the armrests is pretty thin. The steering wheel is a good size, however, and comfortable to hold. It has an array of buttons, and you know me, I'm a big fan of buttons. But the reason that we're looking at this car so hard is the fact that it has a sticker price of around £30,000 in the UK. That equates to around $28,000 when you remove the sales tax that is 20% of the price in England. And that really is impressive for a car with a range of 263 kilometers. That's a bit north of 150 miles WLTP range. Now on the EPA test cycle, you can expect to get about 80% of that. So somewhere around 120, 130 miles. Not bad, not brilliant. Certainly better than the Mazda MX-30 that we recently tested, especially given that internally and externally, this car just is a better deal. You might not expect it, but this car does come with forward collision avoidance. It comes with adaptive cruise control. It comes with auto wipers. It has a 8-inch touchscreen, although it is without doubt the worst touchscreen I have encountered. I will still say it is a touchscreen, unlike Mazda's system, which requires you to use a little rotary knob. However, it is extremely laggy, and I have not found it enormously reliable. Sometimes it's refused to connect to Android Auto, but it does have that functionality, and it does more or less work. The seats only have a few modes of adjustment with no lumbar support adjustment, which is a little bit of a shame. I would like a little bit more lumbar support here, but that's just me being picky. Above me is a panoramic glass sunroof that is also a tilt and slide affair with a screen. That is really impressive and actually quite pleasant. All in all, the interior of this car does feel a little bit tight and a little bit cramped. That again going back to its earlier origins as a petrol car. But for a vehicle that gets 5 stars on the Euro NCAP test, granted a couple of years ago, that's probably 4 stars now. There's very little to complain about. Let's take a quick look at the back and see how the legroom shapes up. In the back here, there is a surprising amount of room. There's plenty of legroom if you're my height. I'm actually a good few inches from the seat sitting here just to get into shot. And other than that, there's not that much back here. There's enough room for certainly 2 adults, probably 3 for a shorter journey on that central seat, which is kind of a half seat. The floor here is almost, but not quite flat, certainly not bad for a multi-fuel platform vehicle, and you do get one little charging point. Other than that, there's not a lot back here. The seats fold flat if you need to load more luggage or carry something bigger. There are electric windows, and the materials are so often the case, are a bit cheap and plasticky. But again, think of the price. That is it for our quick walk around of the MG ZS EV, the 2020 edition. Obviously there is a 2022 version, which we hope to get our hands on at some point, but you know, being in the States, getting our hands on vehicles from abroad is sometimes a little bit tricky. Thank you also to my lovely wife, who is holding the camera for this and also holding my teleprompter, but I did not bring my remote control for the teleprompter, so you'll excuse me if I come over and do that. That is it for today. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends. And don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There is a link down there in the video description. And if you really liked this video, why not leave us a super thanks? It's really easy to do, and everything you send goes towards helping us make great content like this, where there is an awful lot of wind, and I'm really sorry because I didn't bring the thing that covers up the microphone, and it's probably going to have had a lot of post-processing. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and our other channel, Transport Evolved Take 2, and give the bell a gentle ring to make sure you're told when our next video goes live. Thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew go out to everyone who makes TE possible. That includes everyone who supports us on Patreon and on YouTube, as well as those of you who just watch our videos, share them and tell your friends about them. We really appreciate all that support. If you're a supporter at the charged up level, you'll see your name right here on my right. And if you've just joined, I'm really sorry if your name isn't up there just yet. We render out the video scroll roughly once every week, but sometimes our videos are produced a little bit in advance, so you'll find your name may not be on there until a couple of weeks after you sign up. Thanks to our self-driving tier supporters. That is Chris Maxwell, Pedro Muro Pinheiro, Patrick Boyarski, Bennett Elder, Brian Newton, David Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leong, Andrew Martin, Guido Drahota, Brophy Wolf, Tesla in the Gong, Gordon C., Stephen O'Donoghue, Kyle Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Dan Blair, Jim Burness, Chrissa Center, Chris and Michael Johnson, Peter Dillinger, and Denny Hyde. And of course, out of this world thanks to our Starman supporters, Anonymous Freak, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Rory Litwin, Joe Bresney, Reed R, JP Fagerback, Russ, Will Graylan, Matthew Drobnak, Blue Says Hello, Kevin Boroughbridge, John Lyons, Andrew Glenn, Paul Conway, Laura Reynolds, Ellery Hensley. There's someone else. Oh, of course, there's Ian. Want to be part of this amazing list? You can join Patreon at the link below. You can hit the join button below to support us on YouTube, or show us your support through Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or our cool swag store. Links are all down there. And if you're unable to support us right now financially, just know that watching the video and sharing the video, that makes a real difference to our ad revenue and really helps the channel. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, keep evolving.